Hi Libra, this is your reading for July. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to take a look at the general energies that are influencing all the people that are governed by the Libra consciousness during the month of July. Take a moment here to check in with your higher self. Ask your higher self to connect to my higher self so that we can create a feedback loop to make sure that the messages come through are tailored for you and really precise. Please set aside any distractions. I want to make sure that you get the most out of your time here. So don't multitask now. And you may also want to put in headphones so that you can really focus on the messages that are coming through and give all of your attention to this reading. Okay, let's take a look. Interesting energies coming out, Libra. I'll start talking in a second. You have a lot of cards from the beginning section of each of the suits. So you have Ace and Two of Cups, Ace and Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Three of Swords, Four of Cups. So there's a lot of energy of things being at the beginning of something, but what I'm feeling with that is that there is not necessarily a clear path opening up, because the Two of Cups at the heart of the reading is in reverse, crossed by the Ace of Cups, which is actually in reverse. I read reversals for the crossing card as well. So, and then you have Ace of Cups in reverse, sorry, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Pentacles here, Two of Wands upright here, Four of Cups is in reverse. So I feel that there is some energy around like a false start, perhaps, for some of you. There's this feeling of like maybe you've initiated something, or there's been energy potentiating for something that you've been wanting to move forward with, but that beginning hasn't yet eventualized, and you may be feeling a little bit, I'm hearing, stuck or stagnant or confused even, like as to whether or not this is the direction to proceed forward if you've already been working towards something. But there is this sensation here of like uncertainty. That's the general sensation I'm getting here with these two twos in the upright position. There's actually three twos in your reading. There's Two of Wands, Two of Pentacles in the upright position, Two of Cups is in reverse position. So there's a feeling of here of being unsure about whether or not you've made the right choices that have brought you to this point. So let's get in a little bit deeper and see what there is here to uncover to help gain a bit more clarity about your circumstances right now. Just give me a second to tune in. The feeling I get with this after I go in a little bit deeper is that there is, besides feeling like maybe you're not sure if this is the direction to proceed or not, some of the factors that may be influencing that or that might be acting upon your psyche or upon your consciousness, which may be even leaving you to feel that way. There's a few things. One of the things I'm feeling is that maybe the people that you have drawn into your vortex, that you have maybe, I'm hearing collective. What I'm feeling is that some of you may be experiencing this sensation of like, have I actually brought the right people into my reality? Like, are these really the people that I'm going to work with or that I'm going to interact with? If it's a relationship reading we're talking about. And for some of you it is, being that there's this Two of Cups, Ace of Cups at the heart of the reading. Some of you may be unsure about if you've just recently entered into a new relationship with someone, or if there's like the potential for a beginning where there's like a possibility for commitment. You may be feeling like you're not sure if this is actually the right person. You know, with this Ace of Cups in reverse also at the heart of the reading, there's a feeling here of like overwhelming uncertainty, and it's a little disorienting because there is this feeling here of like having been driven and driving towards things that you've been working on, But I get this feeling like you've been pursuing a couple of different avenues. This is what I'm feeling like. There's multiple avenues that you may have been pursuing activity on, and they may not have actually, I'm hearing perpetuated, but those avenues that you may have been pursuing, and you may have been working on them for a little while, the feeling I'm getting is that none of those avenues that you may have been pressing forward with have actually generated anything back yet to make you feel like a positive affirmation that that's actually the direction to go. So that could be some of what this is here. Yeah? And we'll go in a little bit deep in a second to see whether or not that's just a kind of false positive there that needs to be overcome by mental determination, or if that's actually just a no. We'll get into that in a little bit. There's 2 queens in the reading as well. Queen of Cups is in reverse and Queen of Wands is upright here with the Hierophant. With this quadrant here, I feel that with the Hierophant in reverse and the Queen of Wands in reverse, this could be suggesting that for some of you, this could be suggesting that maybe, and I'm going to give multiple messages here, and they're going to seem contradictory, but that's just what I'm feeling here, and it's the point of that is that you take what works for you. For some of you, what I'm getting here is that you may be uncertain about the direction you're taking because you're afraid of commitment. That's a really clear message here. You might simply be creating confusion in your manifest world because mentally you're afraid of committing to something because you may not necessarily feel like you have either the authority, I'm hearing. You might be afraid that you don't have the creativity or the confidence or the technical skills to actually go ahead with something that you've been already working on for a while, and that may be making you feel like you could be seeding your thought forms into the physical reality that are giving you this sensation of this is not working, I shouldn't be working on this, I shouldn't go in this direction, simply because you're afraid of your own inabilities. You might be feeling insecure, you might be feeling lack of confidence, lack of creativity, lack of technical skill, all those things I mentioned earlier, and that may be causing you to create false omens and clues in your external world that are making you think that you shouldn't do that thing, but it's actually not true. It's not true. The point, it may or may not, some of those things may or may not be true. Like you might not have the technical skills to pursue in something that you're working on. You may not have the confidence to work with something that you're working on. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. What it means is you should work on gaining those technical skills. It means you should work on building your confidence. It means you should work on establishing a willingness to commit to something if it's actually what you want to pursue. Don't let your insecurities become actualized in a way that gives you a false reading on the lay of the land in front of you because you are not willing to deal with the factors that are actually causing those things. Is this clear? I hope this is clear. That felt mostly about work stuff. If we're talking about a relationship here, what I'm getting for some of you is that if you've started a relationship recently, or if there's someone new in your field, in your energetic field, and you may have shown interest in them, but now you might be changing your mind. I feel there's energy here around like, boredom. Like you might not maybe you found that person attractive and interesting at first, but now as like a little bit of time has gone by, you may have lost attraction and you may have lost interest. And if that's the case, that's totally fine. You just need to communicate clearly about that so that you can like not create a confusing energy where you or that other person feels like this is going somewhere when actually you've already decided that it's not. So just be clear in your communication. Be clear in your decisions about that too. That's why I feel with all these twos here in the reading, it's telling me that you are... Let me just find the right words here. It's kind of a classic Libra move, actually. You're just unwilling to make decisions because you're trying to harmonize and balance, but it's actually just an excuse for you to like kind of float a little bit because you don't... Again, it's a commitment issue. Like you're afraid of making the wrong decision, so you don't make any decision. And that's an issue about commitment and security and confidence, right? So while it may not, the point is not necessarily to try to deal with that issue around what's the right decision to make. The point is dealing with your insecurities, dealing with your lack of confidence, dealing with your fears and phobias, and I'm hearing pretentiousness. I don't know if that's relevant here or not, but you may be looking at something as an issue, like this is the issue, but actually what you're not seeing is all the stuff down here that's actually making this issue look like it is, but that's just like the surface of the water, right? You need to look beneath and actually assess and realize the true motivations that are actually causing those images to form on the surface of the water. It's actually about much more than that, and it's up to you to delve deep into the psyche, into your unconscious mind, and actually reveal those motivations for the truth of what they are. Okay, because you may be actually really confusing yourself and creating a lot of delusion because of your unwillingness to admit certain things, and that inability to be decisive is not necessarily about the clarity of the decision of the direction you're taking, but more about, as I said, the motivations below the surface. What else is here? I feel like I've more or less covered everything, but I kind of did it in a very like all-encompassing way rather than like kind of talk about each of the cards. But let me just check here, see what else there is. This Ace of Pentacles with the Eight of Pentacles both in reverse. Again, I kind of covered this when I just spoke here about commitment. I feel that for some of you, you may be questioning whether or not a project or an endeavor that you've begun, that you've started to undertake already, is the right decision for you or not. But the point is that uncertainty is actually not about whether that is the right thing for you or not, but it's more about your fear of having a lack of technical ability or a lack of creativity or a lack of confidence or a lack of ability to commit to something. This has already been covered, so I just wanted to point that out, that's what that was there. Now this Two of Pentacles with the Chariot, it's very interesting. Again, now another two, you have all these twos in the cards. The Chariot is number 7, and it's in reverse here, 7 from the Major Arcana. This is telling me that I'm hearing invocation. I feel that there is a need here for you to, again, it's kind of touching on what I said earlier about needing to address the true issues which are below the surface, discovering what's in the unconscious mind that's motivating you to kind of be, let me find the right word. I'm hearing diligent, but that's a tangent. That's not what I was waiting for another word about this, like, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's hard to describe, but the energy I'm feeling is like you're kind of hovering above something, and it's like this feeling of like you can't pin yourself down and be responsible for something because you're kind of like you're creating this thing of like you being untouchable, but it's actually more about your own, first of all, a lack of groundedness. That's what I felt with that imagery just there. Like you and this Chariot reverse is telling me that as well. Like you're not grounded in reality. You're not grounded in reality. You're living in this mental space that's actually not real. It's kind of a delusional energy I'm feeling. Just trying to see if there's any other cards that are presenting that so I can describe it a bit better. But just bear with me a second here. I'm hearing unconscionable. I want to look that up because I don't actually know what it means. 1 second. I don't really know how to spell it. There it is. It means not right or reasonable, unreasonably excessive, unconscionable. What does it mean in regards to the reading? What I'm feeling here is that it's a kind of dishonesty. It's a kind of dishonesty where you are, as I was saying before, you're kind of like, you're not actually holding yourself accountable because you're not grounded in the reality that actually lets you know exactly where you are. You're kind of living outside of reality in a way that puts responsibility in other places. You might be pointing the finger at other people, right? I'm seeing that here. You might be pointing the finger at you might be trying to like place the responsibility of why things aren't working for you in the way you want them to in other people. All right? You might be trying to lay blame in the places where it doesn't belong. You might be trying to, it doesn't mean to say that other people may not be behaving irresponsibly or aren't necessarily like serving your tasks or purpose in the way that you feel like they could or should, given the way that, you know, that the manifestation of those people coming together, like I described in the beginning of the reading, right? But the point is the vibration that you're holding now is what drew those people to you, because it fits the story that we're telling. If you want to be more successful, if you want to be more clear in your endeavors, if you want to be more actionable, then you need to change the way you think and feel. You need to address those unconscious things that I described earlier: lack of confidence, lack of technical skill, lack of ability, lack of commitment, all those things. Change that stuff, and then you'll draw a vibrational match to you of those kinds of people that will actually help you manifest and realize your dreams, because they're actually vibrationally, energetically aligned with the purpose that you are expressing through your thought forms. Okay? Hope this is clear. I want to come back to this because I don't know if I actually really nailed the feeling that I was having here. I'm feeling a bit of melancholy for some of you with this Two of Pentacles. It's giving me, like, the expression on his face is a little bit like a certain type of frequency where you may have been really pursuing something for a long time and not feeling changes, or not feeling like the reward of that feedback loop showing you that what the efforts you've been making are actually being realized and actualized. But again, the point is, like, the feedback loop is showing you exactly where you are. So if things are not changing, or if things are not improving or progressing, then the point I've been trying to make this whole time is don't give up. Don't give up. Keep trying, keep pressing, keep pursuing, keep addressing the issues, even if you feel like you've already covered them. If nothing's changing, then look at it from a different perspective. Dig deeper. Always strive to be very grounded in reality so that you can actually access information, because we're in this reality. We are here. If you're not grounded in the earthly realm, you can't really read the landscape of the feedback loop that you're getting, because you're detached. That's what I was saying before about, like, you're in this other place where you're above a situation. You're outside of it. You're not inside of it. You're not seeing your manifestations from the place that they were seated, right? Because you're kind of floating above things. You need to get grounded. You need to get really grounded. I want to go back to this because I was talking about how if for some of you, if you recently started a new relationship, and I mean, this could be actually a business relationship or a work relationship too. It could be any type of dynamic where someone recently came into your reality and you may have begun pursuing something with them. And over time, maybe a short time, it could be a matter of a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. If your feelings about that person may be changing and you may be less interested than at first. Two things. Again, two different messages here. One is either you need to be clear on that and communicate that so that it's not confusing for the other person. There's no room for uncertainty, or there's no room for a person to get hurt or disappointed because the way your energy feels is different than it was recently, but you haven't communicated that with utter clarity. There's that. The other point is, if that's the way you're feeling, but you're not sure, you're still not sure, then address the other stuff that we already touched on. And rather than making it be about the other person's issues, then you might need to address the issues around fear of commitment, fear of trust, lack of groundedness, fear of exposure, I'm hearing. I'm going to leave it there for that part of the reading. I feel that's it for here. I'm going to look at the bottom of the deck. Hangman reverse, 10 of Wands reverse, 10 of Pentacles, 2 tens, 8 of Swords. And then here's 8 of Cups. I'm going to take that too. What I feel is here. It's kind of what do you call that like chapter at the end of the book where it kind of like summarizes? I forget what that's called. Anyway, this like end of the story here is saying to me a few things. 2 10s, 2 8s. So the first part of the reading, we had a lot of cards from the beginning of the elements, right? So we had 1s and 2, aces, 2s and 3s, 4s, okay? Here we have 10s and 8s. This is telling me that there is a possibility for you to kind of make conclusions, right? And make karmic shifts in the trajectory that you're on in beneficial ways by raw honesty. Eight of Swords, raw honesty, like remove this blindfold, realize that the ways in which things may have not been working into the direction of conclusional success in the way that you expected it's up to you. These are all like attitudes and thought forms, ideas, impressions I'm hearing, concepts, ideas from your subconscious mind that you have been unconsciously allowing to control you, right? That's what this binding represents here. So these things, the swords represent parts of the mind. So your task here is to remove this blindfold, remove these bindings, and be real about what these things are, right? In a way I talked about earlier, like actually become very grounded in your reality, to actually really perceive and witness your own feedback loop of reality that you've been creating, and address those things that have been unconsciously acting upon your reality because you are allowing them to continue. And change them. Change your mind. Let go. That's what this Ten of Wands is saying. In reverse, Ten of Wands is saying like you're ready to actually release and let go of a lot of old held baggage that has been like acting in a limiting way upon your reality. Hangman in reverse here, I feel, is suggesting again to look at things from a different perspective. Address your experience from a different viewpoint, like witness yourself from a different viewpoint, zoom out or stand to the side or stand on your head, do something to kind of shift the way that you're perceiving your reality so that you can actually see what you have until now been unable to see. And for some of you, there is like an element here of, ancestral conditions that have been unconscious thought forms and beliefs that have been affecting your ability to like be clear in the way you perform your own magic, right? What's jumping out to me right now about this Ten of Pentacles card is that it's actually 2 5s. You see there's 2 shields with the 5 and the 5. So for some of you, what I'm getting with that is like some of you are moving forward with life and trying to pursue your whatever you want, but you're actually in, how do I describe that? It's like your motivations or your directives or your intentions or your unconscious, like, I'm struggling to find the words for this. You're coming from a place of lack. You're coming from a place of lack. That's what this the 5 of Pentacles is about, like the, financial loss or emotional loss, disappointment, ruin, those kind of things. But it's almost like you're trying to create abundance. You're trying to create a lifestyle, but you're doing it from the wrong mindset. I'm sorry to be so blunt about it, but you're doing it from the wrong mindset. I think you haven't understood abundance. You haven't understood prosperity. You haven't understood like real magic or real creation energy yet. and it's not your fault. I'm not kind of trying to diminish your ability as a creator. You're a very powerful creator. You're a magnificent creator. But the way you're trying to go about things is maybe needs to be addressed. And I feel like I did cover a lot of that, but I mean, seeing the Ten of Pentacles here is bringing a different perspective for me to be able to describe it from. But again, addressing your motivations, addressing that lack of confidence, lack of technical skill, lack of commitment, lack of trust, all those things, like, you can shift all of those. You can 100% shift all of those. But you have to be able to realize, first of all, that they need to be shifted before you can make changes. Don't give up. Don't give up. You're so close. You've worked so hard to get to this point where you can actually even realize these things. So don't give up. You're so close. But so there's two, as I said, 2 8s and 2 10s here in these final outcome cards. This 8 of Cups is telling me that there's still a ways to go, you know. It doesn't necessarily mean walk away, although this is an energy kind of that can describe like walking away. But the way I'm seeing it more in the context of this reading is that you may not have realized yet that you thought you'd arrived at the peak of the mountain, but actually it was like kind of a small plateau where you can see some of the view. You need to keep climbing. You're not there yet. And that's okay. It doesn't mean like that, you know, you can't enjoy the rest of the climb. It's not a punishment. It's not like a it's not a punishment. It's all just part of the journey. Just keep learning along the way. Maintain a space of being open to realize that you don't know everything there is to know yet. And from that place you can actually receive input that helps you grow and change and transform who you are into the person that you can become. Still the same entity, but like it's mostly about what you have to let go of to see the raw realness of what's actually there, removing all these patched on like things that have actually been stifling you. This reading got a bit long, but I feel like that was very thorough. I'm going to leave it there for the general reading. I hope there's some things in there you can work with. I'm going to take the Voyager deck now and shuffle again to give you a higher octave reading. So let me check over here. Yeah, I didn't really address this Knight of Wands at the crowning card position. Knight of Wands in reverse. This could be one of the people that I see in your reading where you may be wanting to kind of put responsibility for why things are not working on other people who may be falling short of your expectations or who may be disappointing you in some way, whatever. That could be part of this reading, but as I said earlier, like those people are actually manifestations of your thought forms, and it's part of your feedback loop to show you what needs to be changed within, what you need to upgrade, transform, reevaluate, recalibrate, all those things. But this Knight of Wands here, how I'm seeing this in tandem with this Chariot in reverse, both of these cards are telling me that you need to continually stoke the fire of your willingness to transform, your desire and determination to kind of keep evolving and growing and becoming bigger and better and bolder, and in the face of challenging aspects and moments where you might experience a kind of friction or a stalemate or a roadblock. This is about continuing to strive and dig deep to find enthusiasm for the experience, to find a joy also within that. Like, okay, you got to climb this mountain and like there's a ways to go yet, but like do it joyfully. Like do it with a passion, with an open-hearted, open-minded willingness to proceed and to enjoy every step along the way, and not just wait until you arrive to the top to give yourself the opportunity to enjoy what you're doing and where you are. This Knight of Wands is also giving me some like your intuition's getting honed, but there could be something here about, again, there's the feeling I had with this reading, and started from the beginning, was like this idea that there's like, you may be reading signs and symbols in your reality in a way that is actually misinterpreting the truth of what's really there, because, as I said, you're looking at it as, oh, those things are representing messages from the universe saying that I'm going in the wrong direction. But what it actually is your lack of self-confidence, your insecurities, your lack of trust, your lack of commitment that's actually making those things visible in a way that you have the potential to misappropriate or misinterpret because of the stance that you're holding. So be careful there that you don't trick yourself into some false narrative, okay? Keep it real. Be raw, real, and honest. That's what I'm seeing here with this Eight of Swords. All right, let's move on. Let's take a look at the Voyager deck. I'm going to shuffle again here. Please tune in with me while I do so. Center yourself and send your energy over into the deck so I can get really clear and precise messages that are tailored for you. The Voyager deck and the higher octave reading is going to give us more insight into what's happening on a karmic and spiritual level. Will help us understand the lessons that we're facing and how to best work with the energies that are at play to make the most out of the opportunity that we're in. So, one more. Four of crystals. Crystals are the swords in this deck, crossed by the Nine of Wands. Ten of Worlds in reverse, you have that there. Strength. Seven of Worlds in reverse. Temperance in reverse. Tower reversed. Two of Wands. Moon reversed. Ten of Wands reversed. So again, these two cards are repeating. Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands, Ten of Pentacles are these two cards that you had in this extended part of the reading. It's interesting that they're side by side here as they were in this part. So Chariot again reversed. Man of Cups. Woman of Cups reversed. And Four of Worlds. It's very interesting. The Fool here at the top of the deck. I'm going to take that. All right, Libra, let's get into it. I'll start talking in a sec. Just give me a moment. Well, where do I start? Strength at the foundation of the reading. Upright. Four of Crystals, Ten of Worlds in reverse, crossed by the Nine of Wands. So on this central axis of the reading, how I'm seeing this is, I'm more or less going to repeat a lot of what I said in the previous reading, but I'll try to find new ways to express it so that it can kind of like touch some different points here. What I feel here is that you may be feeling a little bit stuck at the moment. That's what I feel with this Four of Crystals. You may be feeling a little bit stuck in your own like ability to like make changes in your world, even though you've actually been striving really hard and actually working very hard towards making a big reality shift. Like you've been working on designing your life and initiating new projects and getting out there and like kind of being willing to like interact with different people to sort of like make things feel different. Like I'm seeing someone stir the soup. What I feel is here though is that I mean, this strength card here at the foundation is very interesting to me. My feeling with it is that there is this energy here around like, the reason why I'm taking so long to say this is because I already have the phrase in my head, but I'm a little concerned that it may not be received in the way it's intended, but I don't know what else to say, so I'm going to say it. I feel that what this is saying here is that you may be like your own worst enemy at this time. Like the way, again, I don't mean to offend you there, I've been really striving to find different words to say that with so that it can sound better than that. What I feel here is that you may be not perceiving the correct, like what you're witnessing in your feedback loop as far as like the experience that you're having with regard to the efforts that you're making. You might be feeling like you're coming up against like, why can't I communicate right now? You might be feeling like you're not getting where you want to get to or where you expect to get to given the efforts that you're making. But when I say you might be your own worst enemy, is that you're not looking correctly at I'm hearing initiation, but the motivations that you have that are driving you or the vibration that you're holding that is initiating certain decisions or actions is unaddressed in the truest sense, right? Like, there are some things that need to be purified and resolved, and I did actually cover this in the first reading, so maybe I should like move on from this because I'm feeling like I'm not getting it the way I want to get it. The translation's not coming through. So I did say it earlier in the first reading, I'll repeat it again here to kind of basically say what I'm covering here is that whatever you're seeing in your external world as what you might consider as proof or evidence of what your situation is, you might be misinterpreting that information to try to make it mean something that it's not, to make you feel like you shouldn't pursue that thing or that person's not right for you, XYZ. But the truth is, you are misleading yourself. And that's what I mean by being your own worst enemy. You're misleading yourself because the reality is that you need to address issues of lack of self-confidence, lack of self-love, lack of trust, lack of inability to commitment issues, self-doubt, lack of creativity, or the fear of lack of creativity, or the fear of not enough intelligence, or the fear of etc. Maybe you don't have the technical skill. Doesn't mean you shouldn't pursue it. It means you should learn. That's the difference, right? Don't give up. Keep pursuing if it's what you want. But understand that if you need to make some changes, you got to put the work in. It's not enough to keep saying, but I'm trying, it's not working. Okay, but try a different way, or input different or additional energy in areas where you don't have enough to make the thing work, right? Don't lie to yourself. Tower in reverse with the Four of Worlds reversed also. There's 2 4s in your reading. What is this? I feel that what this is saying here is kind of, I kind of touched on it there, but I'm going to say it really directly here. If there's parts in the ego that need to get shed, and things I need to address, things that I've probably already said too many times by now, then that's what this is here. There's parts of the ego that you need to shed and let go of in order to reveal the reality of the situation so that you can actually progress here. That's what I mean, like when I say you might be your own worst enemy here. That there might be things that you are refusing to look at because of whatever reason. Maybe it's just uncomfortable, and that's understandable. I get it. But if you are the only person standing in your way of progressing, then let that shedding happen. Let that shedding happen. It's for your benefit. Might be uncomfortable at first, but you're going to actually enable yourself to really get where you want to go because you've removed some obstacles. And the obstacles are your own thought forms, your own lack of passion, lack of confidence, lack of trust, lack of skill, etc. I'm repeating myself. 2 of Wands here with the Woman of Cups in reverse. You had this Woman of Cups here in the previous reading. You also had the 2 of Wands actually. I just realized that. So here's some more repeating cards. How I'm seeing that in this reading though is that, like in the previous reading, this felt more like a person that you may have changed your mind about. But how I'm seeing it in this reading, it could also still be that, but how I'm seeing it here is that this is about you needing to purify some residual emotional energy around, again, it could be related to what I was talking about earlier, like early childhood stuff that kind of educated you in a way that is unconsciously motivating you towards ways of doing things which is actually coming from a position of lack, right? So there's something here about emotional prosperity, physical prosperity, creativity, abundance, the ability to like create in the world, a type of emotional fortitude and courage to kind of pursue and proceed. There is something here about needing to, again, release and purify. Like, look at these 4 cards. It's kind of similar feeling, but like in a polarity way. So you've got this blues and cool colors, receptive, like watery. And then this side is kind of like orange, yellow, hot, fiery, active, right? Passive, active, receptive, progressive kind of energy here. But they're kind of describing the same thing but from opposite ends of the spectrum. So look at things that need to be released and let go of, purified, healed, resolved, understood, and we can move on. Moon in reverse with the Man of Cups. So you have the Man and the Woman of Cups in this reading. Here I feel it's a similar kind of energy, whereas like In order to gain a greater sense of, I'm hearing complexity, but this Man of Cups here is for me describing the energy that is available to you if you put in this work now to uncover what is being shared with you through this reading, as far as what unconscious motivations are driving your actions and decisions. And what is it there that what can you take from the information that's being revealed, what's being exposed, to clarify, purify, release, to create a greater space of emotional wellness, of creative and physical prosperity and abundance. It's a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift. But working with this energy of the moon and this eclipse time, actually, where today is the 2nd of July for me. Sorry, it's the 3rd here, but this is the day of the new moon and the eclipse. And I feel that the energy of the eclipse is definitely coming through here in your reading. I feel that this is a very, there is a time, the time period that we're in now, this 2-week window is very, very active, but the actual totality of the eclipse energy will be like really understood over a 6-month period. But what I'm feeling with this is like information is being exposed. There is an opportunity here for a lot of unconscious, buried information from the psyche that I've already been covering, that is available to be revealed to you. This exposure energy that I'm feeling, like what was once hidden and concealed is being revealed, and it's up to you to work with that if you're ready to. If not, you just keep going the way you're going, and maybe another time down the line there'll be that opportunity again. But here again we have the Chariot in reverse in the outcome position, same card. Chariot reverse. Again, this is telling me like there is a message here from your higher self to say, don't give up, keep going, keep pursuing the truth, keep pursuing understanding, keep pursuing self-realization, keep pursuing your higher potential. Keep going and enjoy it along the way. Here with the 10 of Wands in reverse, this card in this deck is called Growth. You had 10 of Wands in the outcome cards prior. Again, this is feeling here of like you realizing that there is a time now to kind of be ready to let go of what is no longer necessary for you to carry around. Lighten the load so that you can actually, and I feel like that, I mean, of course, these two tens here are connected. Like, so you have this 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, 10 of Wands. And they're connected, right? It's like the 10 of Wands here is showing me there's things that need to be let go of. I feel like these things that need to be let go of are what will enable you to have this abundance, wealth, prosperity, space, like lifestyle that you are yearning, seeking for. It's almost, I mean, this kind of energy of this 10 of Wands, it feels to me like, a lot of people, especially, our generation, but most people have been taught this idea that to experience abundance and prosperity, you have to work really hard, right? Like, this is really working hard. And I feel like that's part of what is being shown to you now. It's like, it's not about working harder, it's about working from it's like the beginning, like that Ace of Pentacles that's standing out to me right now. Like, starting from this point, it's a different kind of like it's about intention. It's about intention, I guess. Intention, but also intention is one part. Like, intention is everything. It's really important, but after intention comes action. And it's the action you take that is driven by your unconscious drives and motivation that actually works with intention to create an outcome. So having the right intention is one thing, but it's the way you proceed forward with action based on unconscious thoughts that are driving you. So that's the place to look. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Man of Worlds in reverse. Sage of Crystals, 7 of Crystals, Fortune in reverse. Another 10 here. Look, This is the Wheel of Fortune is from the Major Arcana. It's number 10. This is the 10 of Worlds from the Minor Suits, Pentacles energy, called Reward. Interesting, right? Both 10s. Wheel of Fortune, Fortune. It's again in reverse though. Just telling me that there is really work to do. Like it's up to you to shift, to turn the wheel of your possibilities. And here, Man of Worlds in reverse, another Pentacle energy card. This is the King of Pentacles. Here it is in reverse. It's with the Sage of Crystals upright. Telling me that this is again about mindset. This is about clarifying, purifying the mind. All this Swords energies here and this purification energy that I'm feeling of like actually realistically understanding what's really there. What are the unconscious motivations and drives? What are the things that have been learned behavior or learned attitudes, learned ideas that may not actually be working for us, but that we're still operating with. And you know, sometimes these kind of ideas and concepts that I'm talking about now, sometimes we're even aware that like what we learned, you might already know that like the attitude that your parents have about money is not really correct and it's not really working for you, but somehow it's still operating on you. So keep striving to purify and release. You may want to do some type of ritual practice with that, of like actual spell casting and magic, if that's your kind of thing. But otherwise, in all things, with all things and in all ways, it's just a constant effort towards awareness and realization. And sometimes, like I said, just because you may already be aware of something, but its effect might still be lingering on you, and that's because there's definitely a lag between like physical energy and mental and emotional energy. Like the way things play out in the physical world might be slower than like having a thought or an idea about something. So sometimes there is a lag between like understanding and realizing something and it actually being like physically grounded. So be patient, keep working, don't give up. That's the message of the Chariot again and again, don't give up. But yeah, strive to be clear, clarify the mind, and working with this physical energy of the Man of Worlds to embody truths, embody new truths, embody truths that are buried underneath patched up, you know, ideas from other people that may not actually be relevant for you in this time and space now. Seven of Crystals here. Again, I feel like there's this energy here of like understanding that other people's ideas and concepts may be acting on you, and you may already know that, but there's still work to do to actually release yourself from the limitations of other people's impressions, other people's dogma, other people's, you know, own personal limitation that they've passed on to you. And there's no blame in that. It's just understanding that we are part of a generation of people that are here to resolve and heal long generational lineage issues, and that's okay. We can do that. We can do it joyfully. We can do it willingly. We can make it fun. I feel that's it for your reading. I didn't really talk about the Fool here. This card came out at the top of the deck when I first put the cards down. I like this energy here. This is very much giving me a lot of how do I say that? It's giving me confidence that you understood what I've said and you know how to make the shift. It's almost like just having watched this reading, you've made that shift within you just from hearing this transmission, and you are actually able now to step to the beginning of a new cycle with all this understanding and move into this next part of your manifestation free from a lot of baggage, but with with just like what you need from it, minus the baggage, but with the understanding and the consciousness that comes with that learning, with that experience. Just checking over here, but I feel like I have everything. A lot of 10s, as I said, in your reading. The first reading had a lot of 1s, 2s, 3s, so like the beginning parts of things. Anyway, that was a really deep and intense reading. It was longer than I expected to give, Please watch it again because I want to make sure you get everything. There was a lot of information in that reading. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your subscription. Please like and share this video if you found it helpful, and pass it on to someone who you feel like will also gain some understanding from it. I hope there's some stuff in there you can work with. And on your screen now is going to be playlists for Libra readings from previous months and all the other readings from the July for other signs in the zodiac. So check out your ascendant and moon as well, or cross-watching for other people might also be interesting to you to understand maybe some of the forces that are at play for someone that you may be caring about or working with, or a family member, to help gain a bit more understanding about their situation. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next month's reading.